What's going on, Warriors? It's your boy, Lionheart, and I'm back. Feels good, man. I'm good. Hope you guys are good too. And we're gonna get straight into it. Look, I'm gonna talk about Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. Yeah. So, what was it? They were doing a PlayStation showcase or whatever it was called, and it was exceptionally good. And then one trailer came out, right? I was watching it. Didn't know what I was watching, but I was interested. The graphics looked good, looked very realistic, hella creepy, interesting, fascinating story. The narrative, the narrator or the words that were being spoken was very intriguing. Turns out at the end is Resident Evil Village, aka Resident Evil 8. And then my mind was blown. But the thing is, I do have a reaction to the announcement trailer, but I got a copyright claim. So I had to edit the part out where I was watching the actual trailer, and you only get the bit where the video starts. I'll say, what is this game? And then, wow, when my mind was just blown, right? The mind explosion, yeah. A little bit salty about that, so I had to cut it. Done a dispute. Capcom will remove that copyright claim, and things can go forward. But I just wanted to talk about Resident Evil 8 and Resident Evil 7, yeah, because that time that I uploaded the showcase for Resident Evil or reveal for Resident Evil Village 8, I hadn't played Resident Evil 7. And the reason I didn't play Resident Evil 7 was simply because I didn't want to support Capcom, right, in their decision to make a Resident Evil without Jill Valentine, without Leon Kennedy, without Chris Redfield, without Claire Redfield, without Albert Wesker. Didn't want to support it. Ada Wong, I wasn't happy about it. And it was in first person. You're done. You're done. You're done. And I'm seeing all these kind of situations where they're in a house and then you got all this like a crazy family and all this type of stuff. And like, what has this got to do with Resident Evil? What's this got to do with, zombies and, all this type of stuff? What has it got to do with it? I don't want to be wandering about a house without any weapons, running around scared for my life. I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with it. And I know they're going to make it hella terrifying, yeah? But the terror is going to come from not having weapons and being first person, yeah? And having, like, jump scares and stuff like that in, like, dark halls and all that type of stuff, right? Which ain't too far from how the game was, actually, right? But Resident Evil 8 trailer came out. I was very impressed. Very excited by the trailer. Watched it, mind was blown, and I just came to realization I haven't played 7, Resident Evil 7. I was just on PlayStation Network. I was playing Persona 5 Royal. Wanted to take a little break from it. Went onto the PlayStation Store just to check it out for a little bit, and I saw Resident Evil 7 on there for $7.99. And I thought to myself, Resident Evil 8 trailer looked good. To be fair, I've not heard anything bad about Resident Evil 7. I'll take a gamble. So £7.99 gamble. I'll do it. Download the game. Within, I'll say 7-8 minutes. 7-8. Yeah. I wasn't even contemplating or thinking about the fact that it's first person, that I wasn't playing with Jill Valentine or one of the known Resident Evil characters that have been established over years, over 20 years, 25 years. Yeah. The thought didn't bother me. that I was in an area looking at this house, looking at these characters, Mia, Ethan. Didn't bother me. Kept playing the game. That game is one of the most unnerving, uncomfortable, disturbing, scary, shocking experiences I've ever had playing a video game. That game, I was unsettled playing that whole game from beginning to end. It took me very long to play that game because you'll be walking down the hall and then you'll hear and you're thinking, why am I hearing a girl? It sounds like a girl or a little girl humming. Why am I hearing that? And then you hear a piano go dun, and you're like, oh my god, I'm done. And then you don't want to move back because then you hear banging, and then if you turn around, you're almost probably going to see something that's going to make you have an out of body experience. Yeah, and that feeling playing that game, bro. Oh my goodness. That game was so good. I can't believe I've been missing Resident Evil 7 for over 3 years. Just because I was letting the fact that it was first person get in the way. And it was to do with pride as well, right? Because I'm like, look, I'll support you Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 that you're making. Of course, Resident Evil 5 and 6. But I ain't going to support you Resident Evil 7 because you're doing first person. And you're doing this new character and a whole new story that I don't know or care anything about, right? I was just mistaken. I should have believed in Capcom more, right? But anyway, that game is godlike, right? When they released this Resident Evil 8 trailer for the PlayStation Experience or whatever it's called, yeah? Summer Showcase. I hadn't played 7, but now I've played 7. I played the game in normal. Then straight away, I started to play the game again in normal. Like, literally. I finished it at, I think 3 a.m. Started the game up again. And started to play it again in normal, right? I was kind of tired, so I fell asleep, right? And then I woke up to the "You're dead" screen. So something must have happened. I must have fell asleep in the middle of gameplay and something got me, yeah? Then I started playing it in the morning, right? And then I said to myself, you know what? I got to play this game at night. Did nothing during the day. Played it at night time. But I said to myself, let me play Madhouse, right? Because I know Capcom games, when you play the game in normal, that's not the real experience of any Capcom game. The real experience of a Capcom game is in its hardest difficulty. That's when you truly experience Resident Evil, because to play Capcom games in their hardest difficulty, you have to be optimal, like super optimal. You have to know what the bosses are going to do. You have to know what's going to happen around every corner. You have to know how to deal with certain enemies. You have to understand how to manipulate the game. Or it's a lot of trial and error and experimenting in how to deal with certain areas, right? Because Resident Evil is a game where you have to deal with every section of the game as its own game. Because every section is like a puzzle. How you get past enemies, how you solve a puzzle, how you get like one part, like you get a key and then you have to use that key to open that door, and then you have to go round the whole area, find a secret passage, go through, land back in the first area, leave that door open, but grab the key that you use to unlock it from this side, because now you can unlock it normally, then use the key on another door. Right, it's a lot of understanding how you move in that game in Resident Evil. 7 is no different, right? In the end, you do get weapons, you do get shotguns, handguns, all this type of good stuff, right? But still, even when you're powerful for all these guns, the resources are so limited that you can't just go crazy and just start blasting everything. As I say, optimization station is the key of Resident Evil. and it is the key of Resident Evil 7, right? Man, to be honest with you, talking about it right now, I actually want to play the game again. But I've played the game already. Like, I haven't had Resident Evil that long, Resident Evil 7. But I've finished it 5 times. That's mad for me, right? And I finished it in Madhouse. And Madhouse is difficult. It was difficult, right? But because I played the game, you know, I think I've played about 5 times at the minute now. Right? And I went in. Like, proper in. I'm aware. I'm into it. So I know what is going on. Right? It's just Madhouse. It changes the spawn locations of certain enemies, and there's certain parts where you're expecting to find an item, but the item is not there. So they rearrange everything, how everything is, how enemies work, and even when you have certain weapons, like if you have a certain weapon equipped, the way certain enemies will respond is totally different. So what I found myself doing was, in certain situations, using the knife. Because when I used the knife, the enemies would not carry on with as much madness as they would if I was to use, like, the ultimate gun. Because there's, like, some godlike gun you get called the Albert, right? If you use that gun, then the computer, the enemy AI in that game will carry on in a fuckery way. Fuckeries. Where critical shots won't even critical them. But if you use a normal gun, right, or you use a knife, you can take them out easier. But it just requires more skill of knowing how to move and knowing how to aim. So with a normal gun, your aim has to be godlike, because you have to get pinpoint headshot, right? And then you will get the decapitation, right? Whereas if you use the Albert, you probably aren't going to get it in Madhouse mode. You'll get like their headshots and easy kills in normal and easy, but we don't mess around with normal easy. We don't care about that kind of stuff. That's not for us. Yeah, we go straight to Madhouse, right? So yeah, godlike game. Now I'm into Resident Evil 8. Now I'm excited about Resident Evil. I wish I had played Resident Evil 7 when I had watched the Resident Evil 8 trailer, because my reaction would have been even more, significantly more, if I'd known about Resident Evil 7. I can't believe it. But Capcom, they're getting together with a lot of Japanese developers, and they're going to be doing like some reveal show where they're going to be revealing a lot of their trailers. But it does say fighting game, right? Reveals and a fight, basically like a game where Namco, Bandai, Capcom, you know, a lot of fighting games, Japanese fighting developers, SNK I think are going to be in there, are going to be revealing a lot of interesting stuff about their fighting games. I don't know, man. They might throw something in there with Resident Evil, even though I highly doubt it. Yeah. But I'm just excited, man, for this Resident Evil 8. And I'm just disappointed in myself that I didn't play Resident Evil 7 when it first came out, because that game is so good, man. That is a godlike game. Absolutely godlike game. I'm glad it did well. I can see now. I've looked at the sales figures for Resident Evil 7. It's done incredibly well, man. And now I see why. I know why it's done well. I know why it hasn't had bad reviews. Why people don't say anything bad about the game. Because I've kept my ear to the ground. And I've not heard a bad word said about Resident Evil 7. And I've always thought to myself, why is that? But anyway, I don't care. It's not my problem. Don't play the game. Don't care about the game. Don't know about the game. Out of sight, out of mind. You know, just like an ex-girlfriend. You know. But now playing it, I kill it, man. And I'm happy to be in it. So if you guys haven't played, you're watching right now, you haven't played Resident Evil 7, bro, you got to play that game. So good. Absolutely godlike game. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about was Resident Evil 7. you know, and 8. Like, I'm hella excited about that game. Oh, man. I hate being excited about games like this, man. Because I know that they're far off. Like, way far off. You know, but I'm not looking at everything. Like, I'm not going on the internet and searching about every little bit of information for Resident Evil 8. When it comes, it will come. And that's it. Right? But I have watched the trailer a couple times since I've finished, since I played Resident Evil 7 and finished Resident Evil 7 in Madhouse mode. You know, and to be honest with you, look, I'm probably going to play the game again tonight. Even though I've got a back catalogues of games, I've still got to finish Persona 5 Royal, which that game is absolutely incredible in itself. Right? But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about, you know. If you guys have played Resident Evil 7 and are looking forward to Resident Evil 8, let me know. Let me know if you've played Resident Evil 7 in Madhouse mode and completed it, or just tried it and been like, oh, bloody hell, man, allowed this. Or you have any questions about Resident Evil 7 where you're on the fence about Resident Evil 7, getting it or playing it. What should I do? We can talk. You know, I've got a Discord, you know. So, you know, if you want to have like a conversation with me, like talk with me on Discord, maybe make me aware of a certain situation, I could do a video about it, you know. We can even do a podcast together, you know, because I want to talk as well with the community, with the warriors, you know, the Lionheart Mind Explosion subscribers. I want to talk, man, because you guys are smart. You know, I'm just a normal guy, you know, just trying to do this YouTube, create a positive space in YouTube where we have, like, fun, talk about good stuff, talk about video games, anime, maybe even a little bit of fashion, whatever's going on, that's cool, that we're all interested in. And then we could go from there, you know. So anyway, warriors, that's all I want to talk about. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Laters, warriors.